Morning, students. So this is the fourth video in the series of using Creo as a modeling tool. What we are going to do in this series, in the fourth video, is we're going to study in detail the engineering toolbox which is available. So if you have seen here, we have created a part name as engineering tools.part, and so you can find it there, right there, say next to the extrude and other options that we have used so far. So we have a package of engineering tools which we are going to see one by one. So to start with, we are going to use all these options. Say to start with, the procedure is we have to create a sketch. So take a plane and then choose the sketch option and then the sketch plane for us to draw. Once that is done, I'm going to pick a rectangle and make a closed loop area. Change the dimension. So once that is all done, so you just say OK, and you're just going to rotate it and keep it ready. So I'm going to extrude in a particular direction, say, and any dimension that you want to incorporate, you can make that change and then say OK for the extrude option also. So once that is done, so I want to create a plane. Pick a plane over which I'm going to create a hole. So you could choose any plane. I'm choosing the top plane. And once that is done, I'm going to click the hole option. So once I click the hole option, I am supposed to draw a hole. When I click it, it is going to draw on its own. So what is the dimension of the distance from the corner or from the edge, from any other feature that you want, that you can change. So by clicking, as usual, you can make all those changes. So I'm just dragging the reference point to the edges and I'm going to make the dimensional change. I can even change the diameter of the hole itself and even the depth of the hole. So just now I completed the center point distance from the features. So now I'm changing the hole's depth. So once that is done, so I can get a through hole. So I can as well repeat the same process. So by keeping the edges as the reference, so I can do the same thing, repeat the same procedure. So instead of repeating the same procedure, is there any other way to get the same feature repeated over a particular direction or particular feature? So that is very much possible. So just now I created the second hole. I've made minor adjustment and the dimension I have validated. So I'm saying OK. So both the holes are generated. So what I'm going to do now next is the pattern. Round feature. So round is like, say the edges can be made smooth. So any given edge can be made as smooth. So what I do is I just choose the round option and just come and choose the edge. So once I keep choosing the edge, so the round pattern appears, the feature, round feature appears. So the diameter of this particular round feature can be modified. So once that is also done, you can choose any number of edges. As long as you have, or in the round feature, as long as you have not come out of round feature, any number of edges you choose, you can keep changing the feature, the sharp feature of that into round. So I'm just choosing round once again and just choosing the edge. So whatever is the edge that is connected to that, all those things I'm gonna change. At a click of a button, I can change the dimension. You can always click on it and make the change for the dimensions also. So that brings us to the end of the round engineering feature. And the third one is like chamfer. So chamfer is like instead of having a curvature on the top, a radius, we'll have a flat connecting the two surfaces. Instead of having a smooth circular feature, you have a flat feature connecting two surfaces. So that chamfer, this what we have chosen is called as edge chamfer. So edge chamfer, you can say pick the particular edge, and by dragging it, you can change the dimension of the feature, how far it should affect the surfaces, how deep it should affect the surfaces. So that is again demonstrated here. So once you are done, you can say choose the tick mark. You can do it for the other two edges also, so that it appears uniform. So a platform, an edge, a particular dice kind of feature is made by using it in all the directions. So moving on, we are going to demonstrate the feature called shell. Shell, as you can understand, only the outer feature will be retained. Everything inside will be removed. But since the holes were additional features that we created on the extruded object, so those things are retained. Everything else has been removed, made into a thin shell. So how I did it, I just clicked the shell button and clicked on the object that I want to create a shell upon. So which is the surface that you want to click, so that way your shell will be created. If you click here, shell will be created in this direction. So how do I change the thickness of this wall? As usual, I just have to change the dimension, and the thickness is changed. Thickness of the holes wall and thickness of the shell itself, everything is changed. So that should give you a fair idea of how to utilize this particular engineering tool. So how do I make a change in this? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create, say using this as a plane, I'm going to create an extruded small plane here at the bottom of the wall. And I'm going to demonstrate the next engineering option. So that's why I'm going to do the next sketch. So as usual, I click the sketch part, and I'm going to get the plane view where I'm going to draw. And once that is done, I've chosen a rectangle. So choosing a rectangle, what I'm going to do is, I'm choosing a corner rectangle so that I can choose from this corner to any particular corner where I wish to impinge upon. So I chose that option, and I'm drawing that sketch. Say once that is done, I click the tick mark, and I'm going to extrude. So how far I wish to, and other dimension I want to change now. This is not a standard sketch that I'm replicating. So I'm just randomly choosing a particular dimension. And the next thing that I want to demonstrate is the rib option. So rib is like a supportive structure which will not allow this part, this extruded part, to bend if there is load applied from the bottom. So how I should support it? Either I place a complete cuboid on top of it attached to this wall, or I can, that will be unnecessarily, I'll be losing say weight, you're adding volume to it, so mass and other things increases. Instead I can have a small feature which will be supporting this surface and this surface. So that will be provided by the rib option. So I'm choosing rib. So to draw the rib, so what cross section the rib should have, I need to create a sketch for that. So here is a plane which is already there. So that plane will be highlighted once you chose the rib option. So whichever plane you want to create the rib, you can choose that. So I'm going to choose here that as a plane over which I'm going to draw the sketch. I'm choosing the plane view. So between here and this corner and this corner, say these three vertices I'm going to use to draw the rib. Sorry. So all I have to do is, if I click a line and try to connect this corner and this corner, it won't allow me. So choosing that particular corner is not possible as it is. So how do I choose this corner? So there is a way, a procedure to do that. So if you see here at the left topmost corner, just beneath the first option is reference. So click this reference option and come back to the original image which you have created. So click this edge and click this edge. The connecting point will be chosen as one of the reference point. So that is being done. Two edges have been chosen, and similarly for the second point, I'm going to choose this edge and this edge. So once that is done, the connecting point between those two chosen edges will be the second point. So I'm going to, a dialog box appeared here. So there are other things, constraints and other things that you can change that will be spoken about later. So now I'm just going to close that. So connecting those 2 points which I've just created using the reference tool, I am going to draw a line. So that is good enough for me to create the rib. So drawing a line, so the rib feature will assume, say, contain these 3 edges and create a rib. That is how we are going to do it. So I'm again going to click the profile rib option. There is also called as trajectory rib, that we'll see later. So you have the option to change the direction. So I've changed it in the opposite direction. So by default, it will create a rib. So pulling the vertex, say reference point, it is going to change the dimension. So whichever way you wish to extend, you can do it. Or you can as well type the dimension. And one more way is there to change. Say, here is the plane. Right now it is at the center, the plane is at the center of the ridge. I can create the rib on the other side, or left hand side or right hand side, or even in the middle. So how do I do that? So here is the option to do that. So click that, you get all the 3. Every 3 clicks will give you all the 3 options. So you can understand the importance of ridge feature as an engineering tool. So it adds value in the form of strength without adding much of mass to it. So yeah, so with that we can stop this lecture. Hope you all understood the engineering features that we saw now. First one was the hole, and we repeated the whole feature again. Initially, we created an extruded cuboid over which we created 2 holes. So to create a hole, I had to repeat the procedure that I did for the first hole. So instead, is there any other way to repeat the hole at the click of a button? Yeah, so that we will be seeing in the next video. So among the engineering tools, first hole was done, and then we moved on to round feature. So I click the round feature and click the edge, so that edge will be smoothened. So you can change the diameter of the round feature that has been created also. And then followed by that was the chamfer feature. Choose the edge. So any two surfaces will have a flat surface, inclined flat surface, oblique flat surface connecting them. So that was demonstrated, followed by creating a rib. So a rib, you have two options. So we chose one, and we created the rib option out of it. So with that, we'll end this video. Thank you for watching. Any doubts we can discuss in the lab session, online lab session. Goodbye.